Adventurous people who live in adventurous places like Marquette are more likely to go out and enjoy nature with a hammock. How many of you have ever gotten to the top of Sugarloaf or hiked around Presque Isle and just wanted to sit down and enjoy the view, but you didn't have a hammock, so you had to sit on the dirty ground? Yeah, we've all been there. But we wouldn't have to be if the city would just lift the hammock ban. I've been studying this topic for a month now in my argumentation class, and I'm able to determine the variety of reasons as to why the city banned hammocks within the city of Marquette. It's a great activity that everyone enjoys and can be enjoyed without the destruction of trees, nature, and the views. Hopefully through this speech I will be able to explain why hammocks are good and there's no need to ban them anymore. Now let's look into why hammocks have become so popular over the last few years with so many people. After a long hike, all hikers want to do is relax and unwind from their trek. Hammocks are an easy way for hikers to be able to rest after a long, strenuous hike. REI's co-op website, rei.com, talks about how hammock sellers have made it easier to carry hammocks while hiking, biking, whatever people are doing outside. They can fit them into their backpacks, or they can even strap the hammocks onto themselves. One of the most popular sellers being the Eno compacts that are already collapsible, lightweight hammocks, can collapse into a little 4.5 by 3.5 inch bag. The Eno website explains that the single nest hammock, when packed up, could be the size of about a softball, which is pretty easy to put into any backpack. But hikers in places like Marquette are unable to enjoy the simple pleasure because some people don't know how to use them properly. The city of Marquette banned hammocks in February of 2017 due to damage of trees in the area. Still permitted at NMU, but if found hammocking within the city, you'll get a $25 ticket. One of NMU students from Teton Gravity's research website explains that hammocks are a big part of the culture at Marquette and NMU, and that was one of the reasons why she chose NMU. We're all adventurers here, so why take that away from us? Taking out a part of one's culture is one thing, but now people are able to prevent this from happening, so why keep this ban in place? The old screw-in hammocks did a number on any tree they were used in, but the leave no trace hammock straps that we use nowadays for all hammocks barely do anything to the trees, if not nothing at all. Hammocks have been known to destroy trees by stripping their bark or leaving a hole in them, making them more susceptible to insects, fungi, disease, and, well, the elements. But as we all know, the screws that were used for the old trees and the old hammocks made them more vulnerable to all these things. Nowadays, companies like Eno and REI narrow their hammocks down by only using the leave no trace straps, which don't damage trees. However, if used improperly, people still could damage the trees by not setting it up correctly. Older hammocks were bulkier and hurt nearly every tree that was used to hold them in place, but with the latest knowledge and technology that we have nowadays, we are able to prevent this with hammocks being light as a feather practically. The city could designate certain areas for hammocks so people can still enjoy views, and not all trees will be susceptible to the damage. However, if the city isn't open to that option, they could also construct hammock posts within nature without making the trees more vulnerable to anything that could kill them. The city could even work with students at NMU who are involved in construction management, environmental, or biology courses to help partake in the better making of hammocking. If the city doesn't want to do that, then they could simply host an educational forum on how to use hammocks properly for the city as well as students here at Northern. They could show them the do's and don'ts of what not to do when properly setting up a hammock. Some cities and state parks and universities do have more reasons other than tree damage for the banning of hammocks. California Polytechnic State University banned hammocks and slacklines after a student died after riding his bike into a slackline. Inherent dangers in activities that involve students climbing tall trees to install ropes or hammocks and dangling or doing tricks 30 feet in the air or sometimes higher, California Polytechnic spokesperson says. However, this leads to the debate that there are freak accidents that occur in the most innocent of activities, including this one. Some freak accidents happen that shouldn't result in the punishment of everyone else. From the website multimock.com, Colorado State Parks bans destruction of trees, which results in hammocks not being allowed. This "we don't allow them" hammock policy probably was a knee-jerk reaction to someone using cheap string and a cheap hammock which caused damage, Darcy Mount, CPW, senior park ranger, says. As a state park, people visit them to see nature, and if the nature is ruined, no one's going to see them. But hammocks have been renovated and straps have been updated to prevent all this from happening. Don't let the stupidity of one person ruin it for everyone else. The destruction of trees isn't done by hammocks alone, and nowadays hammocks are made to not even hurt trees, just for you to enjoy them. Hammocking is a great activity that everyone enjoys and can be enjoyed without the destruction of trees, nature, or the view. The city of Marquette could have hosted an educational forum. They could have made hammock posts within Presque Isle or even on Sugarloaf, places that are really popular to the residents and tourists who visit Marquette. Here is a single nest Eno hammock that's prepped and ready for use. Here's the same Eno hammock collapsed and ready for you to take on your hike. Adventurous and not adventurous people enjoy hammocks after a hike just to relax and even as a bed sometimes. Enjoying nature and the view it offers can't be done any better than through a hammock. If you or anyone you know enjoys hammocking, make sure to invest in one. Make sure to get the Leave No Trace hammock straps. Many, if not all, hammock bans are able to stop the destruction of trees, an easily preventable problem in this generation that allows everyone to be able to enjoy the relaxation that hammocks have to offer.